In this episode of FTD Facts, I'll be sharing 10 of the biggest beliefs and religious practices of Shia Islam. Hey guys, welcome back. My name is Leroy Kenton, and these practices are obligatory for Shia Muslims. And this video is intended to speak generally of the Shia Islam branch and may not necessarily represent all the views of all Shia Muslim sub-branches. Either way, let's begin. At number 10, we have Salah. Shias do this a little bit different from the Sunni Muslims. When bowing in prayer, also known as sujood, a Shia Muslim will rest their head on a wooden or clay tablet. Then wudu or washing is also considered to be a part of the prayers, and it's not just preparation. Prayer is to help eliminate sin, to worship Allah, and to remind Shia Muslims about their insignificance in relationship to Allah or God. Also, being humble and extremely disciplined about prayer is very important for Shia Muslims. Now, number 9 brings us Psalm. For Shia Muslims, Psalm or fasting has two main purposes. First, it's to give practical help to the poor, as Shia Muslims will understand how the poor and hungry really feel. And the second thing is that fasting will help Shia Muslims become stronger at rejecting evil and doing good. The next practice at number 8 is Zakat. The first Imam Ali stated that the purpose of Zakat is to test the rich and to provide for the poor. And if all the people paid their zakat, then no one on the planet would be poor. So that's why Shias are very specific on what zakat can be paid on. It can be paid on silver or gold coins. It can be paid on cows, sheep, goats, and camels, as well as wheat, barley, dates, and raisins. And such a specific approach to zakat has made it more complicated for Shia Muslims to actually calculate in the modern world. There's another form of giving which I'll get to later on in this episode, but real quick, let's move on to number 7, Hajj. Very similar to Sunni Muslims, this pilgrimage brings Shia Muslims closer to Allah and encourages them to examine their behavior so that they can then be better prepared for the day of judgment. Also, Shias believe that the 12 Imams spoke regularly of the importance of performing Hajj. The practice at number 6 is Jihad. Jihad is one of the 10 obligatory acts of Shia Islam, but it's also very important to all Muslims, regardless of what branch you fall under. It's been reported in the Hadith that the Prophet Muhammad said these following words: "The person who struggles so that Allah's word is supreme is the one serving Allah's cause." Now, the word jihad means to struggle or make an effort. And the word is often used incorrectly in the media, which simply refers to jihad as being some sort of violent attack against Western civilizations. But jihad can be divided into two general categories. There's the greater jihad, which is the inner struggle to live good and to follow all the pillars of the faith of Islam. And then there's the lesser jihad, which can have a violent or military aspect, and it may be referred to as holy war, although that's not necessarily an accurate translation. However, this type of force can only be used in certain conditions. And those conditions are, for the first and foremost, is defending Allah, as well as to gain freedom from oppression and restore peace in the land. Also, jihad is fought until the enemy lays down their weapons. That is a condition. If they surrender, you can't keep on going. Now, women and children should not be harmed in the process, as well as prisoners should be treated well. So if those conditions are met, then the lesser jihad can be performed. Halfway in at number 5, we have the khums. This is a tax that is unique to Shia Muslims, and it's a 20% tax on their annual income. It should be split in 6 different ways: Allah, Muhammad, relatives of Muhammad, orphans, the needy, and anyone who is away from home and has no money to return. Now, a Muslim cannot pay khums directly to Allah. So what was done initially was that this portion was given to Muhammad and then to his relatives, as well as the first 11 Imams. And it's now paid to the Shia religious leaders and spent accordingly. Now, the practice at number 4 is Amr bil Marouf. The word Marouf means anything that is considered acceptable according to Islamic Sharia law. In simple terms, this may mean carrying out your obligations of your religion or eating halal foods and various other things that are good. However, a Shia Muslim has a responsibility to promote good and, if possible, try to intervene against injustices like stopping bullying or, even campaigning for human rights. The practice at number 3 is nahi anil munkar. Now, this refers to forbidding whatever is evil. Shia Muslims should avoid things which are considered haram or forbidden and stand up against evil in the world, kind of like the previous point. Tawala comes in at number 2. Now, this means acting with love towards fellow Muslims and also loving things that are good. Some Shias would see this obligation as towards all Muslims, whereas others may reject associating with Sunni Muslims because they see them as being on a different path. But nevertheless, although there are various interpretations about that, the general obligation is that you should show love towards a fellow Muslim as well as show love towards things that are good. And we end this episode off at number 1. We have tavara, and this is hatred towards those who oppose Allah. And this perhaps is probably the most controversial of all the practices on this list because it's left a lot up to interpretation, and a lot of Muslims often view this as being at the heart of the divisions that happen within Islam. It can be traced back to the original Sunni and Shia split, where some Muslims believe that the leaders after Muhammad should be elected, which has then become the Sunni majority, while others believe that the next leader should be related to Muhammad, which led to the Shia minority. Shia Muslims believe that they have been treated very badly since the split, and some Shias reject any ties to Sunni Muslims, and this division has often led to bloodshed in the world. But either way, just like the other obligations that call Shia Muslims to stand up for good, those who oppose Allah can also be campaigned against. So this is not necessarily meaning that there needs to be bloodshed when it comes to their hatred for people who oppose Allah. There's so many different ways that you can oppose somebody. All right, guys, on that note, we'll end this episode. That brings us to the end of this one. This was a look at 10 of the biggest religious practices of Shia Islam. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Hope you found it useful, informative, entertaining. As always, I want to hear your thoughts and comments down below. Don't forget to leave a like, and also if this is your first time here to the channel, subscribe and ring the bell to be notified when new videos are posted. We post daily here on FTD Facts, so go ahead. It is free. Join the FTD Facts family, and I'll see you guys soon.